Jamiel Mack, good to see you.
How you doing?
Have a seat. We got Jamiel Mack in the house. We've talked about this guy now for a couple of years on the website. I've never had a chance to speak with him directly. I don't know if you've ever seen our website or not, but
yes, sir.
Definitely had that Jamiel Mack. We started pumping that name last year, and I told Coach Jones the other day, I said, my worry going into the year was I hope he can get just as good numbers, if not better numbers this year than he got last year. But it's been a very good year for you.
Yes, sir. And I just want to thank God for the opportunity again to come up here and be able to talk to you guys.
I'm glad. I was like, wonder how he'll handle this when he comes in. That's how I thought you may approach this coming in. Because it's been a good run for you. Past couple years, take nothing away. And I told Coach Jones, I said, after the success Central had back in the days of Drew Adams, who joined us a few years ago, and back in the days of Justin Johnson, here you come in and you've actually exceeded what those guys did.
Yeah, I mean, I just watched them coming up, and I just watched the mistakes they made, and I didn't want to make the same mistakes. I know Drew didn't really make a lot of mistakes, but I didn't really have a lot of time to watch after Drew. I had to watch after Justin, so I just had to capitalize off of the mistakes he made and turn them into strengths for me.
Yeah, and to me, he seemed like a runner, and Drew seemed like the passer. I told Coach Jones, you seem like both.
Yeah, we watch a lot of old film on them and see what they did and see what worked.
You know, I was telling Coach Jones, too, I was telling a guy named Greg Johnson, Will Johnson's dad. I don't know if you remember Will or not. Used to be the kicker for High Point Central. Anyway, Greg was with us for a while. He passed away a couple of years ago. But Greg always told me on Thursday, I said, keep an eye on this young kid on the JV team, this Jamiel Mack. He is going to be better than any of these other guys we've had before. And I'll be darned if Greg wasn't completely correct.
He was a real good guy. It's bad. It was sad that he passed away.
It was, but I tell you what,
it was tough on Will.
Everything we think about with High Point Central back in those days, even some now, kind of relates back to Greg being around there. Will has done it, as you probably kept up with us some too. He and Justin both going to Winston State. Will's done an excellent job for the Rams over there.
Yeah, I've been talking to him. I went to a couple of their games. He's doing good over there.
I wish they would have won that championship last Saturday. Got beat by Virginia State 21-17, but can't take anything away from Winston State. They've had a great couple of years, and Will Johnson and Justin Johnson been a big part of that.
Will's getting a lot of press.
Get some good positive press. Good pub. Yeah. Good pub. Where do you see yourself ending up down the road? Does that college thing come up much now? You just focus pretty much on what you need to do to lead this team?
Right now, we're all just focusing on winning in the playoffs right now. We're not worrying about colleges or looks or anything right now. We know if we keep winning, that stuff will just come by itself.
What's made this a better year for you this year than last year? What, in your opinion, has helped things get better this year?
We put more time in and effort into little things this year. We got more discipline. We're more of a team this year, and we execute a lot better than we did last year. We were a team at times, but we've been together all year this year, and that's the difference.
And you got some size too. You step in here, you're probably, I know they call you about 6 feet, 6'1". You probably got to weigh at least, I'm just doing all this crazy guessing stuff, at least 185, 190, maybe more.
Yeah, I was at about 187, but then I dropped a couple of pounds at the season, so I'm probably about 180 right now.
Is that good or bad? Does that help you with the running more?
It's good because we're a fast-paced offense, so it keeps me in shape.
Do you guys go no huddle pretty much, just run quick plays
all
like
year.
Carolina does?
No huddle, yeah, no huddle. We never huddle up.
Just grab those plays to the sideline with the coach and just keep.
We go. We got a tempo team, so they won't get ready on defense.
Run as many plays as you can. Just keep them moving. Keep it moving.
We want to average 80 plays a game.
Wow, that's good. That's good. Talk about the 3 games you lost. I mean, this is kind of a crazy question too, but I was thinking about this today. Why do you think you guys lost the 3 games? I know some of it had to do with the injuries, but why those 3 losses? West Forsyth,
it was a lack of focus.
East Forsyth was just 42-40. Looked that up there, how close that game was, and then the loss to Northwest. Why those losses?
It just came down to a lack of focus. When somebody had to make that play or make that catch or make that tackle or make that pass, we didn't do it, and that comes back to the practice we had that previous week.
What do you think helped you guys secure that big win? That was a big win at Southeast Guilford last Friday night. What allowed you guys to get that win?
We had to come out and just keep the gas on the pedal, and we just had to execute. We just had execution. That's the big thing we didn't have in the past few weeks, and we had all of our starters came back that Friday too, so that also helps.
It's good to get those offensive linemen back. I know.
Yeah, it was. Yes.
And here's another one too. Did you get Jeffrey Wall back? Is he back as well?
Yeah, he's back. Yeah,
that's a big plus.
He had 2 touchdowns on Friday.
Yeah, that shows he contributed right away when he got back. Jeffrey Wall, a big contributor, and Chavis Little's been a big contributor for this year
real
too.
Big. He been. I told him when he get the ball, just run north and south.
Yeah, and just keep going straight ahead, right? Go get the yards. And that's something Central didn't have quite as much of as in the past. Maybe going back beyond your junior last year, back in Justin's days and Drew Adams' days, they had the quarterback, and plus they had a quarterback who could run with Justin Johnson, didn't have that extra running back who takes a little bit of a load off the quarterback.
It's real important that we got that second back now. We actually got a couple backs that can run the ball. Jeff and Savon. Anybody can run the ball in our offense, so anybody can get loose at any minute. So just with that, we got 6 weapons on offense, and they're going to have to stop all of them.
That makes a big difference, too, because you can't focus as much on – because coming in, they're focused on Jamiel Mack because they've heard that name everywhere. But you think about the fact you mentioned Savon McCauley, too. He's another big contributor, just like the other guys are.
Yeah, he's coming up. He's been watching after Charles and Tim, and they've been teaching him a lot this year at practice. They've been teaching him a lot of things, and they've been hard on him, and it's showing now.
Talk about Charles Edmond, what he means to your team as being a top receiver, top target for you.
Oh, it means a lot. Him and Tim, we always work on things together, and I just tell them if they catch everything and they block, we'll blow people out. That's all it comes down to.
You've been able to connect with those guys for several years now, too, right?
Yes, sir.
Developed a pretty good connection among the 3 of you guys.
Yes, sir.
Well, back to the college thing again. Any colleges that are coming your way yet talking to you as far as that goes?
I mean, like I'm hearing stuff from like Western Carolina and App State and stuff, but I mean, I haven't really been talking to nobody like real serious. I just been playing football right now.
Yeah, just playing football.
Yeah.
Would you give the guys like that? I mean, I'm pulling for. I like the smaller schools sometimes, but the bigger schools. The bigger schools are great, but sometimes the smaller schools battle to try to get that player. Sometimes they'll take a chance on somebody that other guys won't take a chance on. That Appalachian system seems to be working pretty well now with the new coach Satterfield, and Western Carolina's had one of their better years. Would you look at those 2 guys pretty close?
Oh, yes, sir. I mean, I want to also go somewhere to get a good education. It's not all about football for me. I got plans. I know football don't last forever, so.
I'm glad you learned that because I've yet to learn that myself.
Yeah,
I'm still trying to live off football now, too many years down the road. I'm glad you learned that early. If some of us could get over that football phase of our life, we'd be a lot better off. But you're looking good in that direction. And man, looking at the season, looking at everything that's happened so far, let me hit you with a few other questions here and get on kind of on this. Just talking right now with Jamiel Mack here at Shane's Radio Shack Football and Focus. What can you tell us about Charlotte Catholic? What kind of team are they? I know no more Elijah Hood, and people might say initially, no more Elijah Hood, they'll be able to knock these guys off, no problem. But they're still a very good team.
Now, Elijah Hood or not, they're a dynamic team. They're a dynamic team, I meant, and they don't make a lot of mistakes. They're really disciplined and they're well coached, and they don't miss a lot of assignments. If you make a mistake, they're going to capitalize on it and score.
How well did you guys do against them last year? Take us back to last year's matchup.
We started off pretty well, and then we started getting a couple turnovers, and that was a big momentum swing. We gotta keep the momentum on our way, and we just gotta execute all night. We gotta come out and hit them in the mouth. That's all it comes down to.
Got to keep that rhythm going and not give them a chance.
We gotta win the battle in the trenches. That's all it's gonna come down to.
Come down to the lines, and who's your favorite? You don't have a favorite. Who are some of your better offensive linemen? Let's put it like that.
All 5 of them.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm not gonna pick out a favorite.
I've barely gotten sacked all year.
How many times do you think you went down? Just maybe a couple, huh?
I probably got sacked like 7 times this year, if 7.
Man, those guys have been good to you this year. Who are those 5 guys? Let's give all 5 a shot.
Jaquez Brown, the center. Amar Pegues, the left tackle. Adam Olsen, the right guard. Jaquan Nelson, the right tackle, and Damian Harrison, the left guard.
Yeah, you got to be proud of those guys.
Yeah.
Good, and they stayed since last week. They've come back. Now everybody's healthy again.
Yes, sir.
It's good to have those guys back. What's been the hardest part of practice here? Is there anything hard about, or is it just such a good senior year? Practice has been fun too.
I mean, sometimes we lose focus, and Coach get real hard on us about focus and discipline and hard work. That's the thing we focus on, just being disciplined and working hard. He know the effort gonna be there, but you got to be disciplined to not hit somebody out of bounds and throw the flag. It's the little things that cost you the game. So that's really what we've been focusing on this year, just being a team and being disciplined.
Yeah, that's one thing Coach Jones and I spoke about briefly the other day when I talked to him. That Davie County game a few years ago when they went over there, that cost him a couple of times too in that game, a couple of penalties where they could have beat Davie County, and Davie County went on to play for the championship that year. Talk about, if you will, who's been the toughest team you think you guys have faced this year?
Toughest? I mean, I would say West Forsyth was the toughest, but we kind of shot ourselves in the foot that night. They weren't really stopping us. We kind of stopped ourselves. The team that really came out and just hit us in the mouth, to me, I felt like was Northwest. I'm not gonna say they're the best team we've played, but they're the best team that played against us on the defense side of the ball. They just came out and just flat out beat us all night.
They're not a bunch of huge guys. Yeah. They just came at you hard then.
I mean, there's no excuses, just results. I mean, I'm not gonna take nothing away from no team.
Right.
Every team we played was good. It's just that I just felt like that night they just flat out beat us.
And you talked about practice. It all comes down to being focused in practice.
And we had a bad week of practice that week too.
Being focused and working on the right things that are going to get you prepared for the game, not some things that aren't going to help you down the road. I'm still impressed while we're talking about that 42-40 game at East Forsyth. To me, me, that's impressive. You lost the game, but gosh, you lost to a very impressive East Forsyth team.
Yeah, I mean, it just came down to extra points, and it just came down to who made that last play. They made the last play, and we lost the game.
Let's go back a few other things here, too. Other than yourself, the best player that's ever come out of High Point Central. Best player ever.
I'm gonna have to say Pratt for right.
Jermaine Pratt, yeah.
For all I know, I'm gonna have to say Pratt.
Back. I threw some names out. See if these names come back to your mind, because I started thinking about it. I started writing names down because names came back. I wrote down some names like Deshaun Monk. Remember Monk years ago?
Yeah.
Hope Monk is still doing wherever he might be today. Ricky Dowdy. Remember Ricky, the defensive end, went to state?
Oh, yeah.
He was a good one. Throw his name down from memory. Pratt, definitely got Pratt's name on there.
Jay White.
Yeah, Jonathan White got down to East Carolina now. Let's see, wrote down Will Johnson, Justin Johnson. Another name I wrote down, this is one of my guys. I thought this guy, I'd take this guy with me. If I get in a back alley somewhere and get in trouble, I'm going to have this guy there, because I shook his hand one time. I thought this guy was going to swallow my hand up. This was Reuben Crosby. Remember?
Oh, yeah, Reuben. Yeah, Reuben.
That guy was, I don't know what happened to Reuben. Boy, Reuben was a tough dude.
Yeah, he's, I forgot what he was doing.
But Derek Grant was another good one, the wide receiver. Boy, Reuben still comes to mind. He was number 2 of all things. He was like a huge defender wearing that small number.
Tim Ward, he might go down as one of the best defensive ends we had too. He just committed to Old Dominion. Yeah. He been helping us a lot. He been getting a lot of pressure on quarterbacks.
And he can put some more weight on too. He's at 210. I think he'll put more. I wrote down a name I thought might remind me of him a little bit, was Jerry Chandler. Chandler came out of High Point Central several years back. Was State? You remember him? Chandler's name at all?
Chandler.
It's been a while back.
It might have been a while back. I don't remember him.
Boy, Tim though has got some possibilities.
Yeah, Tim is good.
First coach you ever had? What's the first team you ever played on? And were you good back then?
My very first team I played center for the Greyhounds.
Wow,
in Winston-Salem. I sucked. I was horrible. I wasn't good.
You must have been ready though to play quarterback. I tried
out for quarterback for the Greyhounds, and they put me at center. And ever since that, I was like, I'm gonna find somewhere to play quarterback.
That's crazy.
I tried everywhere I went. I tried to play quarterback.
That is some crazy stuff. Albert McLean, you remember Albert, right?
Oh, yeah, Albert.
Because Albert was over at Ferndale.
Yeah,
Albert,
we was all on the same team.
Yeah, I think Albert wanted to play maybe defensive line, but he maybe moved him somewhere else. But Albert said, I'm going to move. He moved over to the Dudley District.
Yeah.
Boy, Albert was a mean
Him and Giannis Bowden was at Ferndale, too. We was all at Ferndale. I think it was me, Pratt, Foggy, Giannis, Albert. We had a whole bunch of people on our team. We just couldn't win, though. That was like one of the worst years we had. We had the best athletes, but we just couldn't win.
Juwan Foggy, Coach Jones told me about this. He got the first block punt in history of Charlotte University football last week, and that says a lot, too.
Yeah, he's doing good up in Charlotte. I think he started a couple weeks ago. He's been getting more playing time.
He's got some talent.
He's gotten big.
And I think some of these guys that get to college, they do start getting a lot. But I'm sure, Jermaine Pratt for a defensive back is about, 6'3".
Yeah, he's 6'3".
And must weigh about 215, close to 220. That guy's big.
I think he weighed, he weighed more. When he left Central, he was at 195, and now he's at 230, I think.
I was giving him a little less weight than maybe what he has.
Yeah, he gained 30 pounds.
He's just huge for a defensive back. You got that's almost like a can't miss size for defensive back.
I think he's starting now for state, if I'm not mistaken. But I think he started one game. I'm not sure if he's starting for the season.
What about Coach Angel? Was he over at High Point, over at Ferndale back in the day?
I think Coach Angel. I think he works at another school now. I think it's what school is it?
He was with you guys at Ferndale for a while though, back in the day.
Yeah,
definitely back in the day. Favorite college football team these days?
I'm gonna have to go with. I'm not gonna get on the bandwagon of nobody, but I like TCU offense.
So you watch a lot of football on the weekends, I bet.
Yes, sir. I love college football.
You like the guys like TCU, Baylor, Texas A&M, guys like that too. Then
I like no huddle spread offenses.
You get out of this area and see quite a few teams across the country. Then. What about favorite NFL team?
Dallas Cowboys.
Favorite quarterback?
Tony Romo.
He's the man. The favorite team, favorite player. Carolina Panthers I think they got the off week this week. You think those guys bounce back, still make the playoffs? Or they done?
Nah, they done.
Sad story. Last Sunday, missed that field goal not once but twice. Could have been in first place. Sad. Team had a lot of possibilities.
Yeah.
Favorite sport other than football?
I'm gonna have to say basketball, but because I don't really watch a lot of other sports. I just like football. Are you
playing any basketball these days? No.
Oh no, I gave up on the basketball a long time ago.
Gave that up. How about this guy, Giancarlo Mike Stanton signed a 13-a-year deal this week, $325 million, $25 million a year. What sport does he play?
Hold on, say it again. Read it again.
Giancarlo Stanton. Mike Stanton signed a big contract this week.
Sound like baseball.
That is baseball. That's right. Do you remember what team he played for? You probably saw it on ESPN somewhere, maybe.
Dang, I forgot.
Way down south.
Is it Texas? No, it's not Texas. Oh man, I know.
Down in the corner there, kind of close to Cuba.
Oh, Florida.
Yeah.
He played for Miami.
Marlins,
Miami,
that's right. Yeah,
Miami.
but that's kind of some crazy stuff. But okay, you lose your cell phone. You got no TV. You got no internet, no computer. What do you do with your spare time then? You get in a situation there. What would you do if you get caught in a situation like that? Maybe you're in Buffalo, New York this week. Got nothing to go. All the snow fell on top of you.
I don't know what I do. I'll do push-ups or something all day.
I thought you might say something because that just kind of hit my mind too. We could always do a little extra training.
Yeah.
Kind of get stowed up there. All right, here's the final question for Jamiel Mack from High Point Central. Who do you give the shout out to? The person that's meant the most to you and made the biggest difference in your life. Who do you give that shout out to?
Well, first I'm gonna have to give a shout out to God because He's came into my life and done some amazing things. And then I'm gonna have to shout out my mom and my dad. My dad pushes me every day. He always tells me just to stay humble and just thank God, keep God first. And he don't coach me like during the games and stuff, but when I get home, he helped me out with a lot of defenses and stuff like that at home. So my dad helps me out a lot too.
Tell you what, you've done a real good job. Appreciate all
Thank
your
you.
efforts coming in here tonight. Always good to have you on the website the past couple of years. Kind of took you under our wing last year. Had some guys ask me a while back. So why are you talking about Jamiel Mack and Reggie Gillespie, those kids so much? I want to get these guys' names out. They get them some good recognition because you never know who's going to see those names. You type in names like that at Google or at Yahoo, the names show up and people go looking for people. They're going to find you guys. And we've also got something here for you too tonight. I believe Dennis had that lined up because you are our Player of the Week.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate
At the
it.
website. That was the Jim Modlin, GreensboroSports.com, High School Football Player of the Week, and that's presented by Chick-fil-A. Got a little token of the Chick-fil-A in our appreciation. Let him stand up there, present that. Dennis White, present that to him.
Ready?
Get that photo, Don.
We'll get it.
Yeah, I mean-